we go. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Miss Natia's on. Awesome. Okay, we got everybody jumping on. Hi, Elsie. How you doing?
Hi, good, thank you.
You got to start playing Welcome to the Jungle with it going on there. I hear Mr. Bruno Machado. Are you on the phone? Thank you. Awesome. Hi, Carolyn. I got Carolyn Vander Zijden. For those may not know Carolyn. Hey, Dexter. Lima's hopping on. Fabulous. We're just going to give it morning. Good morning. We're going to give it one more minute. While everybody's hopping on, I'll bring it up at the end again, but I'm going to send it out today. We are going to be hosting, with the help of wonderful Maria Smith from Center State Bank, and Phil Locust is going to come and bring some food. We're going to have food and wine, and we're going to host a cocktail hour. So it's, hi, Liz.
When?
Elsie's like, tell me. It's next Wednesday at the Regals Now Dr. Phillips office. So it's the Sand Lake office. And it's 4 o'clock. It's right across the street from our other offices. And anybody who needs a key there, as you guys know, we've officially closed down the DP office. If you've gone by, you've seen the paper on the windows. It's so exciting, and we're moving stuff out to our fabulous pod that we had to get. So the work is beginning. So that's exciting. So if you need a key though for the other office, we have keys. Jan Rosato is already based out of the other office. She moved there yesterday. So you can get a key from Jan, pop on in, and she'll be happy to give you one if you need to go there after hours or on the weekends. If you need to schedule a conference room for a closing or meeting, just call Jan. Also remember, we have the 3 conference rooms in Lake Nona as well, plus more office space there. So we have that. Also, John Gordon is great letting us use the space in Winter Garden. So just reach out to Kathy. And then we now have a Claremont office, which I'm going to today. So very exciting. And I know the conference room, but anyway, if you're out that way, we can use that one too. So everybody doing great. I think we're going to get started. And I'm going to say hi to Daniela. Hi, Daniela. She's new with us. Happy to have her. Oh, hi, Maison. Hey, hi, May. And Nadia. Oh, and Mitchell. Hey, Mitchell. Okay, so I don't see everyone's faces.
Nobody's showing their faces.
What was that?
Nobody's showing their faces. I want to meet all my new Sotheby's family.
I know. I feel the same way. I feel like I talked to him a bit. Thank you for showing your face. I appreciate that. Oh, look at this. We got faces coming. This is awesome. I love it. Fabulous. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have all these new wonderful faces or names with us. And we're always looking at how to make ourselves better. And as a team, I think we are always better in a collective group. So please feel free to engage, share. All of my training is never one-sided. At least I hate when it is. So feel free to talk, unmute yourself. Looking forward to doing more of these things in person. Before we get started, I also want to mention tomorrow I am doing an in-person training on .loop in Lake Nona. So it's at 10 o'clock. Everybody's invited, anybody who wants to come. And Cheryl Wellman, the amazing Cheryl, will be there. She's also training on transaction plan. And anybody who knows, I know nothing about your transaction plan because mine is totally different. The transaction plan, for those of you who are new with us, is where you put your direct deposit, you put your credit card, you can see how you're getting paid, you can get your reports for the accountant for the end of the year. Hey, Mitchell. So all of these things are going to be important for you to understand how to use and how to get to. And I don't see what you see because I only see a manager side. So if you have not had the opportunity, definitely come to the training. It's either live and via Zoom. We're hosting it both ways. So feel free to either hop on the Zoom. If you don't have the link, I will make sure we reshare it. You should have it, but if not, I'll reshare it again. And, or come join me at Lake Nona. Always happy to see people. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna share my screen. And you know, our motto with Sotheby's is exceptional defined. At the last GNE last year in Vancouver, which was fabulous, and we're really hoping we have the one next year in Nashville, but they released exceptional defined. And I think that is such an amazing way to look at not just the brand, but you. Each one of you are exceptional defined. How can you define that to other people is really what we're going to talk about today. How can we set ourselves apart so people do understand your value proposition? You know, having a company like Sotheby's behind us is amazing. It opens incredible doors. So the why Sotheby's part is easy. Having a company that like Premier Sotheby's, who gives us all this wonderful support, but especially the marketing, creating custom marketing pieces, whatever you want, making sure that each home is set apart uniquely. That's a very easy value proposition to discuss, right? There's no companies that really do these things. Those are great, but the number one thing people tend to have problems with is how do you set yourself apart, right? Because they're not just buying Sotheby's, they're not just buying Premier Sotheby's, they're also buying you. So that's something that I'm big on. And actually, I'm gonna stop the share for 1 second, and I wanna ask, I know anybody who's worked with me before doing any kind of business planning and marketing planning, we talk about a branding exercise. It's my favorite branding exercise. And if anybody wants to share that they did it, that's awesome, but you don't have to. But I'm gonna throw it out there for anybody who has heard of it, not done it, or hasn't heard of it. And this is a great way to start when you're trying to figure out what is my value proposition. Let's talk about what is value proposition. I mean, it seems like a simple term, right? What's your value? It's not that simple. It's really, how can you be different from everybody else? It can't be that I'm ethical, because Lord, I hope so. It can't be that I'm hardworking, because I think we all are, right? It can't be that I'm just detail oriented. Well, there's a lot of people who aren't, let's be honest with that. You could maybe throw that in there. But it really has to be something specific.
And the next thing I see is that she's FaceTiming you. I don't know how she figured it out.
Wow.
I don't know who that is, but we hear somebody. But at any rate, it's imperative, in my opinion, to be able to explain, why should someone work with Tony and not Luz? Tony's amazing. Luz is amazing. But why are the two of them, the experience the customer's going to have, going to be different, right? It's a customer journey we're talking about, guys. When we work with a buyer or seller, they're on a journey, and we're here to help them with that journey. So this is where the branding exercise comes in, because you guys aren't new, right? You've been realtors, you've been in the business. We're trying to figure out, have you been doing a good job branding yourself? Maybe, maybe not, right? So the first thing I want you to each ask yourself, and write this down, don't tell anybody, tell me later, is if someone said, tell me about Mitchell, what would be 5 words you would use to describe Mitchell? I want you to write down what those 5 words you wish they would say are, right? What do you wish people would say about you? Write them down. Take some time, ponder. Then you go to your family and your friends, and you ask them the same questions. If someone said, tell me about Kelly, what would be 5 words they would use to describe you? That is the question that, don't tell them what you thought, write down those words, okay? And now here's where it all comes together. Go through your testimonials. What are customers saying about their experience with you? We are looking for trends. If you are seeing matching, it doesn't have to be the same word, but if it's the same idea, guys, you're doing a fabulous job branding. Let's keep working on it. If you're not, that's okay. Now we know, right? It's better to know what we need to work on. That is why I love this branding exercise. It's simple, it's fun, but most importantly, it's really eye-opening. A lot of times you're like, wow, I never even looked at myself like that. I never even thought about this. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but it's okay, because we need to know what the perception of the customer is, right? And a lot of times that really will help you come up with your value proposition. If you start seeing people saying, man, Carrie, she's that out-of-box thinker. I've never heard her creative solutions. I might go, creative solution maker, like it, right? So these are things that I may be using. By the way, I do like that one. That's a good one. So these are things that I might be using, and I believe we all need to have either a hashtag, a catchphrase, but it is something that on every piece of branding that goes out, whether it's printed, whether it's digital, whether it's email, it should have that on there. You want people to start getting to know you as this, right? Because that is something that people can remember. That one thing about you. So this is what this is about, okay? Any questions? Anybody want to share anything before we delve in a little more? Nobody's brave enough to tell me what the 5 words no, I'm just kidding. You don't have to tell me now.
Okay, what was the second set of words? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you when you,
First you do your 5 words, right? And it's the 5 words, not that you think people are going to say. That people get wrong a lot. It doesn't matter. We're not trying to figure out what people think at that moment. What we first want to think about is, what do I want people to say about me? The second set of words is to your family and friends, and you ask them the same question. What would your 5 words for me be? And it's usually interesting. I will tell you, you get different words from family than customers, but what's really cool about that is a lot of times we can blend those two together because families know us really well, usually well, right? And sometimes they have some really great insight that maybe we want to expand on that we never thought about how it could parlay into real estate. So don't overlook if you have kids, ask your kids, even if they're simplistic words, it's not about that. It's really about getting what people see as your uniqueness. Because think about it, every time you see someone, you make an opinion of them, right? Within the first 7 seconds, you've made an opinion. People are doing that about you. So we just want to make sure we're crafting that opinion before we even get there, before we even meet them, right? Sound good?
Question.
Yes.
So just to reiterate, the first 5 words are what we think about ourselves, and then the other 5 words we just go ask our family, correct?
And friends, and then you go and you look through your testimonials and you see, is there trends?
Okay.
Yep. Seems so simple, but it's really kind of a fun exercise. It's probably my favorite branding exercise out there. You know, when we think of, when we think about branding, what is good branding? Who was I talking to yesterday? Might have been Mitchell, actually. I don't remember. But when you see it, for example, this little symbol right there, right? Do you think you're hungry? Do you think of Macintosh? Do you think of Granny Smith? No, you think of Mac, right? That's awesome branding. When you see arches, whether they're gold or maybe even red, you start getting salivating thinking, I could really use some of those French fries right now, right? Brilliant marketing. Hey, John. So the idea is we need to also use the same branding that companies have been using. Because guess what, guys? Each one of you is the CEO of your own company, right? And as the CEO, you're also the head of your marketing team. You're also the head of your IT team. You're also the head of accounting. It's really scary, which is why you have to pick a business partner that can take a lot of those things off of you. So in terms of marketing, you still need to be the visionary, right? We have people to create it. We have people to make it. I will help you come up with stuff, but it's got to be your vision. What do you want to be known as? Okay, so that's why this is really important. Any questions? Everybody good? Okay.
Good.
Fabulous. Okay, so that is how we're going to start looking at exceptional defined. Once we do that first step, we're going to now start thinking a little bit more like a company. I really want you to think about, if I was a company, right, what do I want people to know about me? Here's an example. I worked for Centerline Homes. We were a home builder. We built a box. Us and about how many other people build boxes, right? Why is my box better than everybody else's box? I can't talk about everything about it, right? I can't talk about, I'm sorry, people do love to talk about insulation. Nobody cares, okay? Nobody cares. You have R11 insulation, nobody cares. So what, in a nutshell, is something that people are excited about, that people could get emotional about, that we do differently than other people, right? So that's really what you're thinking. As a company, what do I provide in a service level, perhaps, that other people do not? How will their experience feel completely different if they work with me than somebody else, okay? So that's how you have to start. Now, what I recommend is start looking at other top agents and seeing what are they doing that's a little different. Like people who are, you know, for example, Delroy Gill. Anybody follow Delroy Gill? He's huge. He's lived Sotheby's. He is fabulous, got a huge social media following. You watch him, I'm not going to tell you. You tell me what you think his value proposition is. He screams it every minute without saying it. That is great marketing, right? So start looking at some really good, you know, I would say you don't have to just look at realtors, and we're going to look at some other things today. Look at companies that have done a fabulous job in making their value statement known, and ask yourself, you know, most of the time you're going to find out it's very simple. So how do when you see that value statement, you have to say to yourself, does that resonate with me, right? Is that something that I could remember and kind of hang on to? Because these are the things that we're thinking about you. When you say something, it has to resonate with other people. If we're going to use this over and over and over again, no sense using something really complicated about how we're the best at, you know, contractually we can handle any kind of, you know, contingency that arises. Listen, contractually, contingency, people don't like any of those words. So you have to make sure that whatever words you're going to put together to describe you have some kind of an emotional trigger with people. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the best way to do this, guys, because I have met so many realtors who have been struggling. I'm talking top realtors. Is Tasha on? Because I'm going to tell you, girl, I'm telling you. She keeps telling me, Karen, I don't know. I just love what I do. I don't know. But there are some amazing things about her that make her unique. And where you find what makes you unique is by looking at your background. Because we are the sum of our experiences. Would you guys agree with that? I'm going to assume I see Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. So we are definitely the sum of our experiences. So don't underplay any of the experiences you have. They do not have to be real estate related at all. You know, it's funny. I was a cheerleader my whole life. I know that's really shocking for most people. And when my kids got into football, they wanted me to do something. And so I became a cheer coach. And then I was the cheer director. That was the worst thing. Don't do that. But funny enough, how would that relate to real estate? How would that relate to my job? Yesterday, Janet Scott, if you're on, Janet, I'm talking about you. She was talking about me, and she said, you know what's fabulous about Carrie? One of the things I love about her, she's a great cheerleader. She's our cheerleader. So you see, it does help. I am here to help grow your business and cheer you on. That is exactly part of my position. Who would think cheerleading is relevant today in the real estate world? But it can parlay. Does that make sense? So don't look at any experience you have and belittle it. You never know. If you were great at chess, hello, chess is all strategy. Marketing is all strategy. Negotiation is all strategy. So look at the things that you did, and it could have been in high school. It could have been in middle school. It doesn't matter. We do things typically, like especially if it's something that we like and do them over and over again, because we enjoy them and they resonate with us. We're good at them. We have a special skill. That's why we keep doing it, right? We tend to spend time doing things we enjoy doing. You know, the things that we're maybe not so good at, we kind of push them aside. Right? So that is important for you when you're trying to figure out what your value proposition is. You got to know your strengths and weaknesses, right? Has everybody done a SWOT analysis? I can't really see everybody, but I highly recommend a SWOT analysis. Strength, weaknesses, right? Opportunities and threats. That's what that's about. So your strengths are exactly what we're talking about. Things that you know you're good at, and you know you're good at them because you like to do them. Weaknesses. You might be able to do them, but you don't like it. Weakness, right? Opportunity. If I use my strengths, how could that parlay into more opportunities? And if I ignore my weaknesses, what could potentially happen that could be a threat to me? And what we then do is we take that information and we say, these weaknesses and threats, we pass them off to the rest of our team, right? I'm not here to make you stronger in the things you're weak at. Why would we bother? We are here to make you stronger at the things you're great at, because that's where you shine. People are in real estate because they're good with other people, right? You're good networking, helping. You have a helping heart. You care about people. That empathy, that person that understands things and can communicate it in a way that the sellers and the buyers can understand, that's special skills. That's what I like to call the talent. Okay. But that doesn't mean you also have to have the talent in creating your marketing campaign. It doesn't mean you have to have the talent in trying to figure out perhaps working with an investor, right? So these are things that we need to know as we're helping you decide what that value proposition is. And you'll find it'll also help you diversify who your customer is, because that's the second most important thing. When you're figuring out my value proposition, let's go back to Centerline in the box. We figure out why our box is better, because we will customize the box the way you want to in the most highest quality included features so that you only spend the money where you want to, right? That was part of our value proposition. Does that mean that is great for every first-time home buyer? No, it's not. Does that mean it's great for everybody who's bargain basement shopper, who wants to cut and get discounts and everything? No, those people were not our customers, and that's okay. And you've got to decide. Not every buyer or seller, a lot of agents like to think, I work with everybody. You shouldn't, because you are going to have specialties. Those are where you want to put your effort. If you don't like working with investors, the idea of cap rate, rate of return, all that makes your head spin and you're like, I feel kind of nauseous. It doesn't mean you can't work with an investor, but why would you? You're going to put so much time and energy. It's going to strain that energy. It's going to suck the fun out of it for you when you could have probably worked with 3 sellers and had a blast, right? So that's the importance of understanding not only what your value proposition is, but who would be the best customer for that. That will be very important when we're matching up your marketing plan. Okay? And then how can your unique skills showcase someone's property better? Now, with a buyer, we can talk about a buyer, but realistically, I hate to say this, buyers are easy. They really are, guys. I mean, you can wear a name tag, walk into Publix, and people come up to you. Oh, you're a realtor. Can you help me? I mean, everybody thinks they're a buyer, right? I mean, now, when we get to the higher level customers, completely different. If we're talking about the second, the third, the luxury customer, they're very specific. This is when that same value proposition you have for your sellers will parlay into your buyers. Does that make sense? If you're great at negotiation, that's good on both sides of that fence, isn't it? If you're very detailed oriented and you love to do research and you're great at really gelling all that information and bringing it into a very small, simple package so that you can present things without wasting people's time, you're great with drivers, you're great with luxury, right? That helps buyer or seller. So it really depends. That's my son. Rick, say hi to everybody. So we have college here. So it really depends on what your specialties are, what your skills are, and then who would be the best fit for that. And don't be afraid of not having every customer be your customer. There's plenty of business to go around. Will we all agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you. So, okay, that's that. Now, I want you to see this. This, how do you love this? This is Uber's. Tap the app to get a ride. I think that's pretty simple, straightforward. That's what they're running with. Tap the app to get a ride. Simple, you know exactly what you need to do. Uber's already done a great job branding themselves, building themselves as a trusted partner and they have some great little words that go into it, but tap the app to get a ride. This is what I'm talking about. These are great little hashtags. These are great little mottos. These are things, I hate to say it, I don't want to say the customer's stupid because they're not stupid, but they don't pay attention. Right? If you don't have a call to action, do you think by having your name and your number and your email and your cell phone and your website that is going to do anything? Because I don't think it is. They don't have time to sit there and even remember and drag your postcard around to go look you up, and they're not going to do that. But that's why I love Slick Text. So you can say text this keyword to get something because they can just pick up their little phone and do it really quickly. It's about convenience. I don't know about you guys, but we are in a convenience-based society. Everything wants it and they want it quick. We want to tap the app to get a ride. Does that make sense? So I want you to start thinking about what is it about how you do business that is going to make that home buying, home selling process feel so smooth and seamless? Because that's the number one thing people hate about moving. It's all of the emotional, it's exhausting. Would you not all agree? I mean, Dexter moved recently. Dexter, do you want to share how great that process has been? No? Okay. But it's a lot of work, guys. And so we need to help them realize that when they work with us, it's going to be smooth and seamless. So we need to start thinking, I love this, tap the app to get a ride. It's fabulous. Okay, MailChimp, send email better. Short, simple, to the point. Why do you use MailChimp? You send email better. Notice these aren't long value propositions. They're not, paragraphs. No one's going to read it and no one's going to remember it. But tap the app to get a ride, send email better. I think you'd remember these, right? I've just picked a couple that I really feel are very clear. And I think that that's the number one thing realtors, unfortunately, when they talk about themselves, don't do very well because they don't like to talk about themselves, many of us. And so they're kind of not clear about what that value is. We need to make it short, sweet, to the point. Vimeo, I love this one. Make life worth watching. Fabulous. Because now what have we done? We've taken what they do and we see why we're going to use them because they're going to make it worth watching. It's not just watching, they're making it worth watching. That's really good. And by the way, they added in lifestyle there, didn't they? So I love that one. Does anybody else have any that they want to share that they've seen around town that they've loved? A catchphrase that I stole off of a billboard from somewhere. I don't even remember where I saw it. I was driving on the road and I was like, oh, I love that. Siri, take a note. And you'll all know it if you've ever done any website stuff with me because it's on your websites because I add it. There's life and then there's living. So awesome, so simplistic. There's life, then there's living. Bella Colina. There's life, and then there's living. Sotheby. You can do it for anything, right? It's fabulous. Very simple, tied into lifestyle. So, and don't be afraid. I don't even think there's life and then there's living. I think it had something to do, not even real estate related. I think it had something to do with maybe vacations or something. I don't even remember what the billboard was. But I highly recommend, as we're doing this, look at other companies and their marketing, right? Check out Instagram. There's some fabulous stuff on Instagram, because Instagram, there's no opportunity to put your comments and you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you can't even look at it. So that one image has to be captivating. And if there's something on it, it has to be short, sweet, to the point. Otherwise people will just keep swiping, right? So I want you to think like that. Life is about convenience today, and it's about catching their attention quickly, right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. I love this. I get feedback. Oh, okay, ready? This is fabulous. I loved it. Oh wait, this is mine, actually. Let's think outside the box, guys. This is outside the box. I didn't have many pictures, so work with me. Does anybody know what that is about? Home partners. Home partners, where you can rent any property and they will buy it, cash. This property we were having trouble selling. So we, at that time, I don't know if Home Partners is back in action yet. They, because of COVID, have sort of stopped out of Florida, but hopefully they'll come back. Fabulous program where if you find somebody who qualifies, and their qualification is so simple. It used to be 520. I think we're at 580 now, but anyway, it's a very low credit score. The application is $50. It's very easy to apply, but if they qualify to rent, they'll tell you what their monthly rental income would be. And every home on the MLS now becomes, if it's in a good school district, it has to go in their areas, will become a potential rental. And they show on their MLS, their website, what was that? Say something? They show on their website the rental price. So when you go out, you take these people to go see a home, it's per the rental price. If they say, yeah, we'll rent it, we love it, then Home Partners will buy it for you, 28-day cash close, no appraisal contingency. If you guys didn't know that program, it's a fabulous program. Anybody not know about Home Partners? Home Partners of America? Well, you do now.
No, I did not.
Great.
Now I do.
Now you do. Now, the great thing about the Home Partners, again, is that it makes it so simple and easy. But this, again, let's talk about this. Home Partners of America is not for everybody. Know your customer, because their rental prices are not the cheapest, right? But you're finding homes that are not for rent, that are now available to the customer. So here's an example of bad marketing. And I don't mean bad, but I'm gonna say misdirected and misaligned marketing. Let's call it that. That's a much better way to put it. I had an agent who thought it was a great idea, because it is a great idea, and they put it on Craigslist. And they got flooded with leads. Well, first of all, very hard to get anybody qualified, number one. But number two, the bigger problem was that all these people wanted the cheapest, the lowest, the bottom basing prices. You're on Craigslist. That's not who this program is for. Who is this program for? You've got somebody, Luce, you could appreciate this. Doctors, when they move quick, don't they? And the family is like, I don't know what community I want. I mean, is that true, Luce?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, her husband's a doctor and he owns Gastro Health, right?
Yeah.
So you know all about moving doctors. They oftentimes have to move quickly. That's who this program would be fabulous for, because now they could try a community, see if they like it. If they're not worried about a $3,500 rental fee or a $2,000 rental fee or $5,000, it's usually not the money. It's about the quality of life for their family. It's about getting their kids into a good school district. It's about a great home in a community and getting to test it out and see. So again, it's aligning the value proposition of what the company or yourself does with the right customer. So a perfect example of that misalignment is Home Partners and Craigslist. Not a good alignment. Home Partners and Relocation, beautiful. That is a fabulous alignment, okay? So, and by the way, you get the sale, right? Cash close 28 days. And then when they say, I really like this community, but this isn't the home, or I don't really want to be in this community, I want to be on the other side of town, they're going to call you and you're going to get that deal too. So it's like so great, right? So it is beautiful. Home Partners of America. Go register if you're not on there. And hopefully, I'm not sure if they're back in Florida yet, but again, once COVID lets up, I'm sure they'll be back if they're not yet. Okay. Anybody like, now, so I took the idea of a home that couldn't sell and we did an open house for renters. So we could get them to apply to Home Partners. But we targeted people of a certain demographic and a certain price point that they were paying to rent, right? Because this is a home and we need somebody who's going to appreciate the home, the school district, those types of things. So we use this and we did a targeted Facebook ad campaign when we could pick all sorts of things like how much people make, and it was really good back then. But we really hyper targeted who this went to, and we got some fabulous leads out of that. So that is a really creative way to think outside the box. Oops. Now, has anybody seen this video? This is hysterical. This is what realtors do. This is how easy our job is. I don't know what happened to the music. Sorry, guys. There was music back here. I love that. Everybody thinks, of course, that we drive. Oh, where's my volume? Let me see if my volume is down. No. Oh, I don't know where my volume went. Nobody likes the homes. I think everyone just walks in and buys any home. Oh, gosh, you can't really see it. Yeah, it says flexible hours, and then he's working at 121. Oh, I have to send this to you guys. I'm sorry, this isn't working. This is a funny video. Yeah, so this video, I'm sorry, I will send you the link on YouTube so you can listen to it, because it's all about the impression of what people think a life of a realtor is, and then what it really is. I love that. We have flexible hours, and he's working at 1:22 in the morning, Buyers just love what they see. She hates every home, It's a hysterical video. So, but the point of this is people have huge misconceptions of what we do. I mean, would you all agree with that? Everybody thinks, you watch HGTV, it's so simple, right? We do all of our deals from our Maserati on the phone, don't we? Doesn't everybody? I mean, that's how we always do it. And it just goes back and forth, and then boom, the deal's over. And then we hand it off to the attorney who does the whole thing.
Yeah,
no.
especially now with COVID, Carrie, that everybody's changing profession, and everybody plus their mothers are trying to enter real estate. And that's the number one thing is flexible hours. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jules. I think a huge important thing when you're doing marketing to the public is humor. Right now, we all can't do humor the same way, but you can say so much with a smile, and we could really get across. If a customer does not believe that we provide a value, right? So no matter what your value proposition is, they're not going to think they need you. So I think part of our marketing must also be preparing the customers on understanding what it really takes to make a deal happen, right? I mean, how many people would ever think in a billion years what we go through on a normal transaction would absolutely happen? I mean, nobody would believe. I mean, we could all share stories, crazy stories that almost stop deals from happening, things that you're like, how is that even possible? It happens on a daily basis. So I think it's important when we're coming up with our value proposition and we understand, okay, these are the things that I make super easy, that I do really well. You might want to do some videos or some marketing pieces that we can have our marketing team help you with to help explain to the public why it's necessary, right? Because that's the thing. So I will tell you, I'm on the communications committee with Aura, and we changed our marketing 2 years ago now, because our marketing team was just not getting it done. So we came up with, has anybody seen the, we're the key to your real estate transaction? Has anybody seen that? That's been our new, it's on, okay, some people saw it, but it's on news, you know, it's on TV, it's on the radio, it's on podcast, we have it all over the place. But the important thing is we're trying to show the public why they need to work with a realtor. What does a realtor do that other licensees don't even do, right? Because let's be honest, just because you have a license doesn't mean you're getting the same service. So that's been something that, so I suggest also, if that's part of what your marketing campaign is going to be, we're going to share this on social. I'm sorry, that's my dog. Dixie. I love working from home for a moment. Dixie. So I would suggest sharing some of those ads because they're fabulous. We have them for buyers and for sellers. And then you can create your own that really showcase how things could possibly go awry. I'm going to give you an example of this. I don't think Christy's on here, but in another couple years ago, we did a whole campaign. Realtors don't let their friends use bad realtors. And it was really fun because we did it all through testimonials. So what we did is we had her customers who were comfortable tell their stories on social media about what happened with how their transaction went awry. And then Christy shared, yeah, it's strange that happened because da, da, da. So it was a great way, again, through humor, to be able to point out why you want to use somebody who is experienced, who understands real estate, who, you know, helped build her value proposition. So don't ever forget the value of testimonials. That's why when you're doing any kind of like objection handling and you're using the feel, felt, found, you can't talk about yourself. Nobody cares what you think because you're the person on the other side trying to sell what you do, right? So do we trust you? Maybe not, right? But if you're sharing, or better yet, a customer is sharing experiences that they had, that is worth its weight in gold, guys. So I'm going to suggest, as you're thinking about how I can, what my brand is and how can I get it across, think about how we can use testimonials to help build that point, okay? Any questions on that? And again, I'm sorry that this didn't play because it's super funny.
Carrie?
Yes.
So I was just thinking about the value proposition, and I think there's an angle that would pretty much blow like most of the brokers out of the competition.
I love it.
The global aspect. Because if we end, you know, listing appointment or whatever conversation with, you know, whatever you choose, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I, you know, strongly encourage you to go with a global luxury broker for your home. It's like, well, who is there, right?
Absolutely.
And then maybe one other, you know? So it really gets them thinking like, that's what I need for my house. So everyone else is just not qualified.
Absolutely. When you're doing value proposition, thank you very much, Nadia. Perfect. When you're doing value proposition and listing presentation, you need 3. Why Sotheby's, which to me is always global, right? We're not just in 72 different countries and territories. We have offices in 72 different countries and territories. We have people who are in 72 different countries and territories that we can connect with, and we can share information, and we can see through our reports when their customers are looking at our stuff. So it's not just that we are global because we advertise in other countries. It's because we are actually located in other countries. And the more important thing that they need to understand about that, which is a great point, so you guys who know me know that I had an international brokerage and I took product to South America. Gringa, claro que sí. But my partner was from Peru. But let me tell you, my in-laws are from Colombia. So when we did a show in Colombia, we had to completely change how we did it for the folks in Peru. And when we worked with Brazilians, Mitchell, you could appreciate, completely had to change that thing up, right? So the point is that everybody is a little different. Cultures are different. So just because we see the South American market is big in the specific listing, we don't know the culture. We don't know what their thoughts are. In Colombia, the most important thing to them was the fact that they could use our money to buy. They didn't understand foreign national loans. In Colombia, to get a loan, you can only get 50% of the value if you're lucky. So for them, it was like, what? I'm gonna get money from the US and I only have to put down 20, 30%, depending on timing. Now maybe a little different. But anyway, the important thing with that is, again, being in these countries, having that partnership there, they understand that. So they can communicate what our value is very clearly to their customers because they know what their customers are thinking. And that is always the trick of marketing. What is your customer thinking? Right? We don't know. We're not mind readers. Wish we were. So we've got to try to help them see things through triggering, through humor, through testimonials, and through clear marketing to be able to understand our points and our value proposition. Everybody get that? Has anybody seen this one? And gosh, I hope the volume plays. I'm gonna be sad if it doesn't. This is a great example of how to do some really boring stuff, but make it interesting to watch.
Hey, it's Christy Keneally from Rate My Agent. It's time your reputation works as hard as you do. Rate My Agent is a digital marketing platform built for great agents to harness the power of verified reviews. So let's dig into that. Each review is linked to a transaction, so you know your reviews are based on actual client feedback and are credible. But here's something really cool. Each review creates its own unique web page with the best possible content, your client's own words, building a digital footprint and ultimately improving your Google ranking, otherwise known as SEO. Yes, and since we all know search for homes and agents starts online, it's critical to be there. Okay, requesting a review. It's simple. Let me show you how. Once you've logged into your Rate My
Yeah, I
Agent
probably would have
dashboard,
clicked her off already,
click
but
on
she
the
started
Reviews
capturing my
tab
interest.
on the left-hand side. The first thing you'll notice are your review opportunities. Select the property
way, this
you
is
wish
great
to
also.
request a review for. Scroll down, then fill out the details. You'll need to provide your client's name, email address, or cell number, and if they were the buyer or seller. So have that info handy, then type in a quick message asking for a review, and then click on Request Review. I know, this is the part not to overthink. Find that same confidence you had when you first worked with this client. You've earned this, and consumers understand the importance of online reviews. Let's take a look at this example from our friend Sean Carpenter. Go ahead and hit pause right now and give it a read. Seriously, I'll wait here. So you can see it's honest, straightforward, asks for 5 stars, and asks for more business at the end. Nicely done, Sean.
Hey, thanks, Christy.
You're welcome, Sean. Oh, I've got a pro tip. Here we go. If there are multiple buyers or sellers on a property, you can request a review from each of them individually if you like. More reviews mean more fresh content for Google and a larger digital footprint. So go focus on your client and let your great service fuel your marketing. At Rate My Agent, we help you spend less time on content marketing and more time serving your clients well. And that's how we become undisruptible together.
Oh, they didn't do the bloopers. Dang it. The bloopers are the best. By the way, I worked with another company, and they did a lot of videos, and every time they did a video, they had a blooper reel. And truly, when you watch the analytics, the blooper reel gets more footage than anything else. So don't be afraid to be funny. Does anybody know Christy? Has anybody taken a class? At Florida Realtor, she taught a fabulous class on social media last year. Fabulous. Anybody know her? She actually used to do that. She's great. She's super fun. But she took something that's kind of boring, that, by the way, Rate My Agent is awesome, and we would talk about that another time, and made it somewhat easier to watch, right? And more digestible, because she breaks it down and she uses humor. So
It's very funny.
It was funny, right?
Yeah, she is. She's really great.
I love her. When you're doing something about buying and selling, don't forget that. Use a little humor, break it up a little. Now, we don't all have to be comedians, so we can come up with other ways to do that. But what I love about what she's done is she's made it simple, and that's what you got to think about. So if you're going to, top 5 sellers myths, top 5 buyers myths, don't go 10 minutes long. Make it short and simple, and always make sure that your value proposition about how you can help will always be clear. All right.
Hey, it's
That was, oh. I thought I had one more in there. Oh, I didn't. Does everybody know Chatbooks?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna have to share this because I absolutely love it. Okay, let me go here. Hold on, let me get it ready. I thought I had edited in there, so I apologize. What happened there? All right, and where's the play? Hold on. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but it is fabulous. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. Everybody with me? Can you see the lady grabbing the kid?
Yes.
Okay.
I have 3 kids and I work from home, so people always ask me how I stay so calm and organized. Kidding. Do you think I have time for a bath? Holy crap. I fell on the towel while I was timing my son holding his breath. 26 seconds! Now go fetch mommy's hairdryer. Motherhood goes by too fast. I haven't slept more than 4 hours in 12 years. My diet consists of the protein bars and pita chips I inhale in the dark in my pantry. And my children are growing like weeds, but I barely have enough time to keep them alive, let alone print pictures of them. Here's the problem. What the fuck? Making photo books sucks.
it sucks.
Don't say suck. They're designed for moms with lots of free time. Imaginary moms. What?
My hedgehog.
Really? Formatting them takes hours. It may push some buttons. And they easily cost $50. So when Sarah does something adorable, I have to say, that's cute, but not $50 cute. Really? Right? If you have no job or no kids, so not great. Jeffrey, put down the crossbow. I'm so tired. Don't get me wrong, I love Instagram, but my kids never see our photos. They refuse to follow me. Hi, Jeffrey! You're doing great! But now there's a solution I do have time for because it takes no time. Introducing Chatbooks, the app that automatically creates quality photo books from your phone. Chatbooks is shockingly easy because you already did the work when you took the photos. Chatbooks creates and ships a photo book to you every time you add 60 photos to Instagram, Facebook, or your phone favorites. It even includes the original dates and captions. It's like a magazine subscription to your own life. Thank you.
Why is Dad wearing a dress?
Okay, that's me. All right, the short hair was a mistake. Okay? Unlike a photo book site, the Chatbooks app takes only 30 seconds to set up, and you do it once. 30 seconds to record the lives of your kids. Technically, that's less time than it actually took to make the kids.
How do you make kids?
What?
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 If you love your kids, or think you someday might, click the install button here. Or search Chatbooks in the App Store or Google Play to install the Chatbooks app today.
Oh my gosh.
Chatbooks requires 0 formatting. And if you're saying no formatting, that's the only reason I do photo books, then this isn't for you, freak mom. These books are already beautifully designed. Did you do it? Do we get to do the potty dance? No! Plus, these Chatbooks cost just $10. That's what you'd pay for a day's worth of diapers, except you fill Chatbooks with the kind of crap you care about. How about... Then your photo books won't just be for special occasions. They'll be for all the quirky daily stuff you and your family care about. Yes, it's that easy. It really prints and ships your photo books without you having to lift a finger. Thank you. Jeffrey, get off the roof. Okay. Every time a Chatbook is shipped, you'll be notified with enough time to edit your order. And if you're not satisfied, you can always get your money back with our Love Chatbooks guarantee. That was really stupid. Chatbooks are made with the same paper and ink as photo books 5 times their price, so you can spend the savings on your little thumb suckers. Suck! Don't say suck. Family's life is insane, and I want to hold on to every single freaking stupid, stressful, beautiful moment, and now I can. You can install Chatbooks directly from this video. Click the install button here, or tap the screen once and click the visit advertiser link here. Chatbooks, live your life and let Chatbooks print it. Oh, hi there. This is an actual bubble bath since Chatbooks gave me the time for them. In fact, I'm ordering one now, and I'm done. Did not think that through.
So long, but funny, right?
Very right.
Yeah, exactly. But my point about the Chatbooks is, this, by the way, has won a lot of marketing awards. And she's done a bunch of different ones, although the first one is still my favorite. But it's not only that it's funny, it's relatable. So keep that in mind. We are all people We are all buyers and sellers ourselves. We need to make sure that we are communicating in a relatable way, but make sure that it's the audience you want to communicate to. Does that make sense? So if you're not really wanting to work with investors, don't be communicating to them. If you want to work with first-time home buyers, make it very simple. Make sure you know who your audience is that you're trying to communicate to. So that's why you have to do those steps first, because if you know your value proposition, you know your strengths and weaknesses, you can figure out who your best customer is. Not to say we're never going to take people outside of that, but who do we want to focus on? And then our marketing that we come up with must be relatable to the right group of people. Make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. So here's a couple more ways to stand out of the crowd. Those of you who've taken listing presentations with me, especially if you're in a competitive situation, especially if you're doing expireds and you've got 3 other people going right after you, you need to stand out. In addition to your value proposition, in addition to the value of Sotheby's, in addition to the value of Premier Sotheby's, you need to stand out as much as you can. So here's a couple quick tips. I don't do a CMA. And this is how I like to say it. I like to say, you know, you're probably hearing from so many realtors and they're all talking about CMA, comparative market analysis. And that's because most brokerages and realtors, their whole focus is putting your home, well, it's the 3 Ps, right? Place your home in the MLS, put a sign in the arm, and pray someone else sells it. But with Premier Sotheby's, we're actually focused on finding the buyer to actually sell your home. So we're out there actually looking for the customers. So we're not going to do just a typical CMA, because that comparative market analysis is for the other realtors, right? So we are going to do a market analysis, but we're going to base it more on the appraisal side. We want to see that we're making sure that when the appraiser comes through, thinks like a bank, that we can actually price your home and feel pretty confident that you'll actually be able to get an appraisal that'll match what our value is. But we really want to put you in the driver's seat. So we do a power sellers report, and we're going to show you actually what the customers are seeing and thinking about your home. Now, does anybody know how we do that? Okay, here's the real secret. Drum roll, please. You print out a screenshot of Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, Redfin, any ones you want. I would always say include Zillow. What this is going to do, first of all, the automated value, they're going to look at it anyway, guys. So you should already have it there. Be prepared. But we need to be smart with this. This is what the customers are seeing, right? If we're going to price a home at $750 and the estimate is showing $650, we need to know that. We also need to suppress that, by the way. But beyond that, we need to have that understanding that the customer sees, the buyer seeing your home is worth $650. Now, if the Zillow's estimate is above what we want to ask for, we say this is great, but make sure you bring some other ones that show it below, right? This helps you, and that typically doesn't happen, but this helps you really with your pricing. It also helps you get to the opportunity when you're doing that listing presentation of saying, and listen, don't worry about it. We can come in at this price point that we've all agreed could work. We're going to test the market. And if we haven't had X amount of showings in a week or 2 weeks and an offer, we're going to drop the price by this much. And you're going to write that in the listing agreement, right? This helps you do that. So it helps you stand out because everybody is doing a CMA. Everybody talks about a CMA. And let's be honest, that's what most people do, right? They put the sign in the yard, they place it in the MLS, and they pray someone else sells it. We don't do that. We use all of our tools and resources to see who's looking at this home, to see where they're coming from. And then we reach out to people on the other side and we hyper-target them on social media, right? Because we are truly trying to find that buyer. So that's our value proposition of the company. Utilize that to help set you apart again in a different way through the CMA. Does that make sense? Everybody get with that? Here's another one. Did I put it here? Oh. The Greater Orlando Insider Report. You know, you want to give them a market report, make it a little different. Make it an insider report. You know, just think outside the box a little. Try before you buy. If that Home Partners is open, that's another great thing to share in a listing presentation. You know, we actually work with an investor, don't tell them who if your home, if we find someone who is qualified to rent your home, they'll buy the home for you. And so now we just essentially doubled that market opportunity, not just for people who are looking to buy and sell, but also people who are looking to rent. Right? Pretty cool. Only do it if you know that they're available in that area. And here's the other one. Most people in a competitive market situation are all talking about open houses. Now, we can talk about open houses. We can talk about virtual open houses. So we even do open houses differently. We do open houses virtually because we want to hyper target those people who are most qualified to purchase your home. Better, right? But we also do a VIP event. Anybody out there who's not been on my team before know what a VIP event is? No? Can't hear anybody? Well, a VIP event is your opportunity to get listings. So what a VIP event is we're going to go ahead and we're going to invite your neighbors to see if they have any friends or family that would want to be their neighbor. Also, we're going to hyper target some specific buyers and invite them to a special event that's close to the public. Sellers love that. But the truth is, if you're going to door knock with a purpose, and door knock for a VIP event. So if you're going to host an open house on Saturday from 1 to 3, from 1 to 2, make it the VIP event. Right? And while you're there, do a virtual open house too, because time is money, and let's maximize the amount of time you're spending in that home. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, I didn't put the last one. And the last one, I'm going to just stop my share, is the buyer profile. So we are out to find the buyer, and I'll be happy to email to everybody the buyer profile. What the buyer profile is, question?
No, I said thank you.
Yeah, what the buyer profile is our homework we should be doing anyway before the listing. We need to be asking ourselves, who would be the person that would more than likely really love this home and qualify for this home, right? What is it about this home that makes it so special? Is it in a great school district? So therefore, we're gonna look for people that maybe has great high school. We're going to look for kids a certain age. Maybe it's close to certain types of work. Maybe the buyer who comes here is also going to be in the medical profession because they're opening a new hospital. Whatever that case is, we're going to do more homework before we go, so that way when we do go, we say, and because we're so focused on finding that buyer, this is the buyer profile who I think at the moment would be probably a good fit for your home. I'd love to get your input. Guys, people love that. Sellers, they all want to tell you what they think, right? We know that. They all want to feel like they're part of the process. So I'm going to share with you, it's really critical. They know that we're in charge, but they know that we're a team, right? And this is a great opportunity to say, I would love for you to share with me the things you loved about this home and this community and this area, because we're going to use that for your public remarks, because people don't care about what we think. They care about what these people think. And by the way, that will help write those public remarks every time. You may have to tweak it a little, but it certainly beats sitting there going, soaring voluminous ceilings welcome you into this. How many times can we say the same thing? They're going to come up with some stuff. You'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't think of that. So I recommend getting these folks on your team, making them see not only the value, it's much easier to tell someone how great you are if you're doing it through gratitude, right? Would you guys all agree with that? So by reaching out and asking for assistance to help that, they see your value, that not only are you going to be doing things that other people aren't doing, but you're appreciating their thoughts. You're appreciating their experiences. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anybody who does not want to feel appreciated. Does that make sense? So that's what I have for you for today. I can't believe I stayed within time. I'm so impressed with myself. That is like a first. For you guys who are new with me, I tend to run over. So I am so happy to see new faces. Again, I'm going to say right now, we're going to be hosting on Wednesday, 4 o'clock at the former Regal, now Premier Sotheby's DP office in the Publix Plaza right there. We're going to be hosting a cocktail hour, get to know, meet and greet. So I'd love anybody from the team to come on out. Remember, we're one team, multiple offices. So let's get to know each other. And what makes us stronger is knowing our value proposition, but collaboration, guys. We as a brand are #1 in collaboration. So we as a team need to be reflective of that, right? We are stronger together. So let's work with each other, get to know each other, and really, you can even ask people ideas about your value proposition and bounce ideas off of each other, because the more collaborative you get with marketing, the better it will be, I guarantee you. So anybody have any thoughts, anything they want to share? Is anybody scared who's new on my team of how my trainings go? Yeah, I talk fast.
Carrie, always the best.
Thank you.
So, are you going to send something out for the transaction desk training?
You know, that's great that you say that because it should have gone out already. And I know it was part of the new guys. I know it was part of your kit. But you know what I'll do? I'll just add everybody on the invite. And that way I'll send it out again. So as soon as I get off, I'll do that.
Thank you.
I have a bunch of stuff in the chat that I didn't know. I don't know. Jules, you didn't know about a VIP event. Now you didn't. So wonderful. Well, I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me today. I'm going to be out in Claremont. I'm heading over there now. So if anyone needs me, text me, call me. You know, I'm always just a phone call away. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for coming.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Carrie.
Bye.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thanks, Carrie.